and 2 the count. Diaz delivers. And JT hits one in the gap. Right center. It'll win the game. Castellanos will score. And the Phillies beat the Mets on a walk-off by JT Realmuto.
On a 2-out, 2-strike count, JT Realmuto delivers for his team and for Phillies fans as the Phils take the finale this afternoon against the rival New York Mets 2-1 in the bottom of the ninth. It was a thriller almost the entire way, and we talked in the pregame program how huge a win today over the Mets would be. And we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance, along with Ricky Bowe, Ben Davis. I'm Michael Barkam, Mike Schmidt in a moment. Phils win their 90th game. That matches last year's total. They're 149 games into the season. They already have last year's total. Magic number is 6, but stand by for 5 potentially coming tonight with the Braves going against the Dodgers. What was most impressive to you, Ricky Bowe, about this win?
I'm going to say I thought Christopher Sanchez. I thought Sanchez was really good in this ball game. I know he gave up that solo home run, but besides that, I thought he threw the ball exceptionally well. I think I got to put him in a number 2 role when you get to the playoffs, and I would move Aaron Nola back to that number 3 because I like the way Sanchez throws at Citizens Bank Park. That's the bottom line here. Also, the younger guys, the step-ups from Lehigh Valley. You look at that eighth inning. You're talking about Weston Wilson with a big hit. Buddy
Double.
Kennedy. I mean,
Double.
Isn't that what you're talking about? We talked about this in the pregame show. How important is it for these guys to come up and step in and make an impact? We just saw it. I mean, this whole series, it was a bunch of guys stepping up, making big impacts, making game-changing plays. I mean, Cal Stevenson to today. I mean, this is what you like to see. It's going to take different stars every single day, and sometimes your superstars on your team aren't going to be there for you all the time.
Yeah. How about the Mets' hopes all but gone? I know there's 4 in New York, but this is a crushing loss in the getaway game as they split the first 2, and we talked about it pregame. This is a definite dagger, isn't it?
You think about how this series went. You got Friday night is an absolute. The Phillies got dismantled, and then yesterday's game, they come in and they're losing 4-0. The Phillies are, and you're thinking they don't have a chance here. Severino's throwing the ball so well. Well, they get back in the game and pull out a winner. And then today, in today's fashion, they have a 1-0 lead due to the Mets, and then you back-to-back doubles, and then the walk-off by Shea. You're just talking about all the air coming out of their balloon, and they are 2 really tough ones. They could have very easily swept out the Phillies in this 3-game series. They did not do so because of how the Phillies played the last 2 games. The last 2 games are character wins. This is something that you can look back on and draw from for future experience.
Mets basically can forget about the division, and they are half game back of the Braves for the second wild card spot. Let's go across the street, talk to a Hall of Famer, the greatest third baseman ever for the crossover. There he is, Michael Jack Schmidt. Mike, great to talk to you. I loved your excitement on the game-winning double by JT Realmuto. It was absolutely beautiful. But how about the secret to this whole winning 9th inning? And that's the Castellanos steal of second, don't you think?
Okay, yeah, that slipped
Well,
my
he doesn't
mind.
score
But
from first, I don't think, does he?
yeah, well, you're right. Well, first of all, we didn't get much from the early part of our batting order the entire game. I mean, I'm looking here and until Bohm had a little base hit up the middle in his first at-bat back, but until the 9th, Castellanos gets the 2-out hit to right field with good 2-strike hitting. The hit to right field with good 2-strike hitting, and then you look to the inning before that, by the way, Weston Wilson's double, Buddy Kennedy's double. So the end of the batting order, starting in the 8th, led us to the 9th, whereby Castellanos hits the ball to right center to get on base, steals second, and then JT brings him in. So, I don't know. You heard us talking. I mean, I looking back, I don't believe they pitched to JT in that at-bat. I mean, we have hindsight here, but, of course, it probably would have been Marsh or it would have been Weston Wilson that would have come up with the game on the line, but I wouldn't have pitched to JT. But it was a fun game, guys. It really was. It was a fast game, brisk game, played well. Good pitchers duel without a question. Peterson pitched a hell of a game, as did our guy Sanchez. amazing year that he's had. It's a tremendous year, and he went. What did he give us? 7.5, something like that.
7+, 6 hits, 1 run. His ERA goes down to 3.24, and at home, it's probably around 2 now at home.
Yeah, but you know what we did in this game to win? We got hits with men in scoring position. We definitely did, and those that was a big key to the game. In addition to our bullpen, who's been lights out, for the last month or so, lights out, and last night's game was a bullpen game as well. You got to give the bullpen credit for allowing us to win last night as well.
Mike, talk about how important it is. I mean, the Phillies go down 1-0, and then you have Weston Wilson and Buddy Kennedy. 2 guys that weren't exactly household names in Philadelphia a few months ago, but now we have people blurting those 2 names out of their mouths. How important is it to have these guys come up from AAA and make an impact?
Well, like JD said, they're a team that can beat you with any one guy in that roster, that offensive roster, on any given night. Again, I'll repeat, we got very little from the first 4 hitters in our batting order, with the exception of Castellanos' hit. He ended up scoring the winning run, by the way. But, a pitcher's game all the way, and it's wonderful to see the guys that don't play every day contribute. JT said it in his interview there. It's great to see those guys contribute. It's got to be one of the greatest feelings they can have as as bench players, or to contribute going down the stretch here, before the postseason, to know that they did something to help the team get to the postseason.
Michael, you faced some very hard throwers, J.R. Richards, Nolan Ryan, guys that could really throw that high fastball at the top of the zone. Tell the folks at home how hard it is to do what JT did on a pitch that's 99 up, out over the plate at that elevation.
Yeah, it was an 0-2 count, and, of course, JT's good at going the other way. He was just, trying to make contact, and it was a bad pitch, I think, by Diaz, without question. Got way too much of the hitting area for him, and JT, of course, has to hit it if the bad pitch is made, and he did. He didn't pop it up. He hit it, got his bat head above the ball, went down through the ball, and boom, game over. And it's hard to do that. It really is, especially as JT said, you had the shadows over the mound. He said the first pitch he saw felt like it was 120 miles an hour, and he could barely see it. So you really got to get down in there with it, man. You got to grind that at bat out, which he did.
Mike, this Mets team is no joke. I know they are out of the playoffs as of right now, but they had won 9 straight, 12 of 14 going into yesterday's game. They want a piece of this postseason pie, and as such, this is a really good series win, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And getting beat like Ben said this earlier before I came on. Getting beat like we did on Friday, and then being down 4-0 on Saturday, and then ended Bryce and getting us started, getting us back into the game with his 2 home runs, and then ended up coming from behind to win that game. And as Ben said, it was really set up, for a possible sweep by the Mets, the way things were looking as we got into a game and a half of the series. And all of a sudden that flip-flopped into us winning 2, and it's a major momentum swing our way and not the Mets' way. Of course, the Braves as well like to see, they're out on the West Coast, I guess, playing the Dodgers. I'm not sure whether West Coast or
they're in Atlanta.
Or in Atlanta. So they see this up on the board right now, and they got playing the Dodgers. So, heck, we could be down to 5 before the night's over.
I like that, 5 alive for the Philadelphia Phillies. This is the final Sundays with Schmidt of the 2024 season.
It is. I'm going to miss you guys.
See it go. And let me just speak for all of us at NBC Sports Philadelphia, and let us also speak for an eternally grateful and adoring Phillies nation. Thank you so much, Mike Schmidt. We love you. And safe. I know you got a birthday coming up. It's a big one. And I'll tell you what, hit 60. I know it's a tough one when you hit 60. So,
hey, Michael,
I want you to take
the greatest thing about this birthday coming up is I don't have to take my shoes off at the airport. Right?
Hey,
75. I told a guy the other day at security, I said, do I have to take my shoes off? And he said, of course you do. I said, well, I'll be 75 in a week.
Oh.
He said, there's no way you're going to be 75. He says, he gave me that compliment saying I don't look quite like I'm 75.
You don't, buddy.
Anyway,
you don't.
It's always fun doing this, and I appreciate you guys like you wouldn't know,
Same.
and have a great rest of the year,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully we'll hook up in the playoffs.
You got it. We'll see you.
Thanks,
We'll
Michael.
see you during the World Series, if not before. Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Appreciate
You got
it. That is the great Mike Schmidt, and just a great human being, as great a player as he was. He is a Philly, lifelong, bleeds Phillies red, and we're thrilled to have had him every home Sunday for the last several years.